Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Welcome to Rainy Day Rabbit Holes, where we take the history of the West off the rails.
If you like your history unhinged, you are in the right place.
I'm Shea.
And I'm Jody. Let's fall down the rabbit hole. All right, Shea, you ready for another silly summer season edition?
I am.
All right, today we are covering a meteorological event.
Ooh.
We're going to dive meat first into a crazy tale of precipitation. 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 So it's March 3rd, 1876.
Oh,
yep.
Our time.
Yeah. Don't you wish we could time travel?
No.
Oh. Well, I mean, as long as you're good at it, you can go prepared, you can get back easily. I feel like it'd be fun.
Like a vacation, like a time travel vacation, where you go for just like 2 weeks and you're like, all right, I'm ready for a shower.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to head home.
And I'm ready to have a few rights.
Yeah.
That's a woman.
Yeah. No, like, not like the movies where you get stuck.
Yeah, I don't want to live in the 1800s.
I want to be in control of it. So
Sounds
I go
awful.
visit.
If I lived in the 1800s, I'd have to be rich and a man in order to survive.
You could take things with you, like deodorant and soap and toothpaste.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so it is March 3rd, 1876, a fine spring day in Bath County, Kentucky. The birds are chirping, the grass is green, and a woman named Mrs. Crouch is out on her porch making soap, as one does in rural 19th century America.
I've made soap.
Have you? I have a friend that makes it and sells it.
Well, I have to back that up. I've never made soap. I've gotten the melt and pour soap that you add your scents to. I've never actually done like the lye and the ash or whatever that you're supposed to, however you make soap. Like the process that actually is kind of caustic.
Yeah. Yes. So I have a high school acquaintance or somebody I went to high school with, and she has rain dance soaps, and she uses the rainwater that she collects and makes soaps out of them and then sells them at places. I've never visited one of her
plug
booths,
to rain dance soap. Rain dance soaps.
Yeah, I think that's it. Gosh, something like that. We could add
or something.
Carrie Thompson. Anyway, so back to the story. She's making soap out on her porch, and something hits the ground. Plop, plop, and then there's more of it.
Frogs.
And then it's raining, but it's not your typical rain. It's raw meat.
Gross. Why?
Just falling chunks of red meat. Wet, unidentifiable flesh start falling from the sky.
What? Is this real life?
Real life. I want you to picture this. You're casually going about your day, maybe thinking about cornbread or the Civil War that's happened, or
little things like cornbread in the Civil War.
And suddenly it's a brisket blizzard.
Oh my God.
A T-bone tempest.
Oh God.
An Angus apocalypse. Mrs. Crouch looks up, because who wouldn't? I feel like I'd be looking up with my hands in front of my face to shield it. But yes, she looks up. And what does she see? Nothing. No clouds, no birds, nothing that indicates there's a storm that you're used to. Just meat falling out of the sky, out of nowhere.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
The meat fall covers a space of about 100 by 50 yards. That's about half a football field. And this isn't just a couple of rogue chicken nuggets. It's a full-blown butcher block explosion.
Ugh.
So naturally, people come running. They got to see. Looky-loos. Some said it looked like beef. Others thought it might be mutton or even bear meat, which raises two disturbing questions. How do you know what bear meat looks like, and why are you okay with that? Unless you're a hunter. I have a story about bear meat in the middle of the freeway, but I won't go there right now.
Oh, what is it about JFK? Or not, RFK?
Okay, I'll go there. I was just driving to work one morning. I was working in Olympia, so south on I-5, and all of a sudden you could just see all this meat, like big chunks of meat in the road in various places. All the lanes had a chunk of some kind, and it was large. And I was like, that's way too much to be a dog, but it looked like dog fur. And then I went a little bit farther and there was a bear head just facing me in the freeway. And I realized, it looked like probably hit like a semi or something that had a cattle guard on it or something. And it just poof into multiple pieces all over the freeway.
In Japan, they eat bear meat all the time.
Yeah. I've heard it's actually good.
You get bear sushi.
Huh. Interesting.
So
never even thought of that.
I'm assuming it tastes like beef. I don't know. Maybe. I guess it's a carnivore. I don't know how it would taste. I've never eaten a carnivore.
I never even thought of that. Yeah, I don't think I have either. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Thought-provoking.
I know. I'm just trying to think about what exotic animal meats have I eaten. I think the most exotic animal meat I've ever eaten is a javelina.
Still not a carnivore?
Yeah, no. I mean, pigs sometimes can be.
That's what I was thinking. Could be.
But not, they're not sustained on, I mean, I guess bear is technically an omnivore, but you know what I mean.
Right. Okay, so a couple of brave or unhinged local men actually tasted it to try to see if they could identify what type of meat this is. And it's the 1800s, so
right. They're probably like...
Gross had a whole different definition.
Right, exactly. He probably had a wound that was festering at the time too, so and its teeth probably smelled like they've been rotting for 20 years.
They were a subtle shade of orange.
Yes, subtle shade of orange.
Yep, this is the 1800s, and they picked up sky meat and ate it raw like it was sent by the gods and blessed by Gordon Ramsay. The verdict tasted like venison.
Okay.
Which means the meat rain somehow got weirder. So what caused the meat to rain? Theory 1, it's a prank. Someone chucked meat into the air, maybe with like a cannon or something like that, which honestly would make the greatest and dumbest use of artillery in American history. But they could be bored back then. There wasn't a lot to do except for survive. Theory 2, it's a miracle. This one came from a nearby church that believed that it was a divine sign. I'm guessing they skipped the part of the Bible where God rained bread from the heavens, not gore.
Right. A little different.
Just and maybe they were hungry, right? It's the 1800s. So maybe they were starving, so they prayed for food and it came in the form of meat rain.
Sure.
But the most popular theory is vultures. Yep, buzzards. Specifically, vultures do this gross thing called projectile vomiting.
Oh, nice.
When they're scared or overloaded, they just projectile vomit all what they've been eating, and typically that's meat. And the idea is that a group of vultures mid-flight got spooked and collectively barfed their lunch mid-air, which then drifted down on poor Mrs. Crouch's property like a carnivorous confetti storm.
Oh.
Biologists of the time found this very plausible, mainly because the meat was described as lung tissue or cartilage. Can you imagine they were tasting?
Oh, yeah, this changes it now.
Friable organ, or I guess what I mean by friable is that tissue that kind of falls apart. Not like a muscle that we typically eat. And they licked it. Anyway, but there's one hitch with the vulture story. There were no birds seen in the sky that day. Huh. Not before, not during, and not after. So if a murder of buzzards yacked en masse, wouldn't it at least be one flying overhead or circling somewhere? And I'd figure too, like, sure, they got scared and puked it up, but then now they're hungry and I feel like they come back down and get it.
Well, also, if it's spread over half a football field, like how many vultures are we talking? Right. There'd be a flock. You'd see them.
I think they call it a murder, like crows.
You can't just have like a rain of meat and one vulture.
Right. And they all simultaneously barfed.
Huh.
Some of the meat was sent off for lab testing. Can you believe that?
It was lab testing back then?
It was, I'm picturing like a guy poking it with a stick, maybe one of those monocles.
Yes.
But there was one scientist, Leopold Brandes, examined it under a microscope and declared that it was nostoc.
What's nostoc?
Nostoc is not meat.
Oh.
It's a type of cyanobacteria that swells up when it rains and looks kind of gross. But here's the thing, it wasn't raining that day. So there's still no real good explanation with that one either. And nostoc does not fall from the sky like it simply got dumped. It kind of comes down in smaller form, so not chunks. So Brandeis' theory is also thrown out like the sky meat. Eventually, modern scientists, meaning like the 1970s, circled back to the vulture theory because no better explanation had surfaced at the time. And after 150 years, no one had figured out definitively what this is or how this happened. So here's the kicker. They still have never figured out what this is. I have no answers for you.
I imagine like they talk about how when it'll rain fish or frogs or whatever, it'll be like a little water spout. Or like a little mini tornado basically suck stuff up. So I'm wondering if there was like roadkill or something
in the air. But how did it get there with no clouds in the sky, no wind, no rain, no nothing? Just a moment of meat falling from the sky.
It was also the 1870s. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the reporting.
You're such a cynic.
Yeah.
So here's just some advice in case you find yourself in a surprise meat storm. Here's some survival tips. Don't eat it.
Oh, yeah, that's gross.
Shouldn't have to say it, but someone should have said it back then. Take pictures, because we can now. Call a scientist, one with more than a monocle. And
and a stick.
And look for birds, because if vultures are involved, they'll be around. You'll see them circling in the sky.
Yeah.
And then also you could start a podcast and just start talking about weird things.
There you go.
So did anyone ever get sick from the meat shower? Not that we know of, but again, 1876 Kentucky. Right. So if they did, we probably would never know about it. And it was probably blamed on something like witchcraft or ghosts.
Bad airs. Bile. Yellow bile. No, they had gotten beyond that by then.
Could it have been some sort of meteorite or an alien? Could be meat. It's a theory. Aliens could have delivered meat or dropped their meat.
But for why, Jody?
I don't know. And here's another one. Has it ever happened again? No reports of this ever happening again. There have been reports of, like you said, the frogs, fish, and even spiders falling from the sky, but not meat. This is a one-hit wonder.
So my question is, did anybody except for Mrs. What was her name?
Crouch.
Mrs. Crouch see it actually coming out of the sky? Or did they get there when it was already on the ground? If people were coming from far, or if people were flocking there, it would have to still be raining and wet meat.
Right.
And so I feel like this is more like Mrs. Crouch saw something, called up her neighbors, hey, Claude,
with smoke signals.
Sent little Timmy off to get the neighbor.
Yeah, that's
like, how did they know it was happening?
Right.
They would have gotten there significantly after, and then there could have just been meat lying around.
Right.
And how do we know that Mrs. Crouch is not misinterpreting something else?
This is my questions too, because it doesn't. I didn't identify anywhere where it talked about how long it took for all the, from beginning and end of the meat shower. Like, what was the time period?
Right.
Was it a half an hour? Was it 5 minutes? Was it all just go all at once? It didn't say. So, and it didn't say how others knew this was happening. So it didn't say whether they saw it and came running or if they heard about it from her.
Right. So. And that's where I'm like, if meat really did rain from the sky, the whole theory of a spot little typhoon or tornado,
right?
Because those can show up in a clear windless day.
True.
Just all of a sudden. And we're talking about Kentucky, where I think that tornadoes are definitely more common. So it could have been, this was something that picked up some carrion that vultures were eating, swirled it up.
Yeah, it was already in pieces.
Flopped it down.
Slopped up and splashed down.
Yeah, that's the most likely.
There's a whole nother theory.
Yep, exactly. It was gross.
It's so gross. The part where somebody licks it or tastes it just to see, and it tastes like venison.
He's like, I've tasted this before.
I'm going to go bread it and fry it. I'm going to make a stew.
Gross. Well, thank you for that gross and silly story.
Gross story.
All right, my friends, thank you so much for hanging in with us on our silly summer season. I hope you guys have been having fun on our little virtual road trip around the world and weird stories. We will be back at you real soon with normal, full-length, not as dumb episodes, but still kind of dumb because, it's Rainy Day Rabbit Holes.
Gotta have a little dumb.
Gotta have a little dumb. And we really appreciate you and your listenership, and we appreciate the support of our patrons more than you could know. And in fact, to say thank you to our patrons, we are starting on a little series where we will, every couple of weeks, write a bespoke piece of fan fiction based on one of our past episodes. And the episode will be chosen using a random number generator. And then we will also choose one of our patrons by using a random number generator. And they will get put together and we will create a bespoke piece of fan fiction with that patron as the star of the show. So if you want a story written about you, all you have to do is sign up for our Patreon. Right now, we're giving this to all tiers. But once we get some more patrons, we might be having to limit this just depending on how many people we get, because we can only do this for so long.
So sign up.
Anyways, you can sign up at rainydayrabbitholes.com. Want to thank our mistress and maven of marketing, Letha Davis. So you can always go to lethadavis.com if you are looking for some marketing for your company. She's amazing. So she's going to be building our website, our new website that will be launching real soon. It'll look better than the crap that I've thrown together.
She's such a gem.
Oh, she is.
Letha's amazing.
Letha is amazing. Thank you so much, Letha. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Please leave a rating and a review. We lost all of our Apple reviews, subscribers, and statistics recently because of something that went wrong with Apple. So if you've already left us a review, you're going to have to go back in and do another one. So we'd really appreciate it. Make sure you hit follow again because, again, all of our subscribers got lost. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time and
see you down the rabbit hole.